Alright, replay review for Coda, aka Jumpy Lion, Malthael on Sky Temple. Talked a little bit about this in text beforehand. Obviously this is Coda's start of the Malthael arc. Friendship ended with Urel, new Malthael main. Welcome to the club. Only playing Malthael from now on, of course. Yeah, just to go over a little bit of the comps that we've already talked about. One of the biggest things that stands out to me is sort of the weird discrepancy between your front line and your back line situation. A new Malthael is like zero ability to stay up front or hold any fights. You're playing, this combination is probably playing for quick fights with a last rights one shot, but your backline of Cigar Rainer doesn't really support that, neither does your Lucio, but I imagine it's still playable to some degree. Said you've got some good one-shots, so looking forward to seeing that. Malthael into the enemy team. Butcher, of course, you can't throw a stone without hitting 12 Butcher counters. Malthael has Unstoppable, Anti-Heal. You can actually dodge his charge with W if you time it correctly. Like if you teleport behind him as he impacts, you dodge the stun and the charge ends. But that's pretty tight timing. You can kite him out, several different things you can do versus him. Malfurion is generally fine. The one thing you have to watch out for Malfurion is Twilight Dream, but you have Inevitable End, which you can press on reaction to him starting his animation if you're quick enough. Urel, fine, is nothing really Malthael, or that Urel does to Malthael. Although, the Maraud's Insight, oh no, sorry, that's Dauntless, not Maraud's. You're good. I've heard that Maraud's can win, or at least make the 1v1 fine, but I have not personally seen it. EGC, generally fine. Can be a little awkward, because his slide is so quick. But you have Inevitable End if you're fast enough on it. Hanzo is the big thing I'd worry about. Malthael in team fights hates two things. Well, three things. The first being just like heavy lockdown that can't really be dodged or overloads your Unstoppable. But other than that, he hates people who can poke him and kite him out. And anyone who, any DPS who if he goes on them can just straight up kill him before he kills them. Or can just straight up pressure him out of fights. Hanzo's kind of both. More the former than the latter. He kind of needs to hit a fast scatter arrow to really fully pressure you out of fights or kill you. But like if you teleport onto him next to a wall and he just scatter arrows you, jumps over and then like auto Qs you and you die, well, sucks to suck. Anyway, I like Sky Temple for Malthael. There's lots of stuff to do, lots of ways to abuse your better double soaking. You can do temples pretty well. There's camps to take. Grabbing if team isn't going to rotate for them. You can still grab an early bruiser camp and send it top side and maybe try and cheese the top wall with it. Stuff like that. Pretty good Malthael map. Pretty good Malthael draft, especially for picking it early. Very based, by the way. But yeah, let's get into it. I'll do some brief talent commentary as we go along. I saw you build, and I don't object to it that much. We pick Fear the Reaper here, which is fine. I personally am on a big death reach believer these days, but I think all the level ones are fine. Fear the Reaper gives you good gank resistance if you think they're gonna like be Butcher ETC roaming to try and get you. Give you some in combat mobility if you feel like you would have trouble closing the gap, like if you want to get to Hanzo or need to kite out Butcher. So you can definitely find uses for it this game. I have no objections. You probably could have played a little bit more forward, or at the very least not back here. Like your noobs up in this bush, posturing more aggressively. You've got, who's this? Is this Rainer down here? Yeah, you got Rainer down here. You sitting back here doesn't do too much. You're not really in a position to follow up if a noob finds something, so you could go play in his bush up here, or you could go sit over here. So if someone walks up and a noob powers in, you are in position to follow up. or if they walk up like this way or down this way out of a noob's range, there's still you as somewhat of a frontline source that's holding this bush. Just sitting back here sort of signals that you're not prepared to make any sort of play. A noob does E out, does not really have play started, but that's probably because the rest of your team's back here and not in position to support them. Yeah. I don't mind just going straight to lanes. I'll never say no to getting an early start in the laning phase as Malthael. As a small addendum, I don't know if this is just a mistake you made right here, or if this is going to be a consistent thing, but you want to try and mark the entire wave with your auto by, if like in this position, where there's no one contesting you, you want to come up to the side, put yourself right next to the wave, and then auto the mage minion so your attack cleaves through the entire wave. And then you hit them all at once, which means you can immediately start draining the entire wave with Q, which makes you clear the wave faster. This way you sort of position yourself so you're facing over this way, and then you only hit the back line, you don't hit the front line. And now that guy's going to die in a second, doesn't really matter, but this guy and this guy are both full health, so missing the cleave on them means that now you have to cleave a second time. So you've delayed your first Q cast by your auto attack cooldown, which is about 1 second. So you're like clearing the wave about a second slower. You dropped the mark on that melee guy, but remarked it. It's not a huge deal. Just Q, and you're good. Alright, now the funny question is, what do we do? We've got Fryo here. Our options that I see are we either continue to sit on the URL and try and drain her out. We rotate mid, do like a half rotate, and see if there's a play mid. Probably not, since your noob's backing. Or we could go to Bruiser Camp. Honestly, I don't think there's any good option. I don't think there's a play mid. I don't think you have time to do Bruiser Camp because your wave's coming pretty quickly. You're going to have to bank up some time from clearing several waves before you can solo Bruiser Camp without missing minions. You're not going to do meaningful damage to your rail, but I still think that's probably the best option. Just throw some extra damage on her health bar and make her a little spooked. She's Dauntless, which is easily the worst sustain in lane versus you here. So maybe a couple more rounds of that and she starts getting spooked and burns a tap or something. You can also go for the... Actually, alright, yeah. I forgot your right side. This is the better play. Just go grab the vision. You're missing top soak. There you go. Nice. Jed can catch the mid wave. That's fine. Alright, let's check this. Let's check the wave clear. So, and you want to ideally walk up to like over here-ish. Oh dear. That's fine. Yeah. You basically autoed first and use your auto cooldown to get to the rest. That's also acceptable. Yeah, I would continue pressuring your up here. Alright, you don't need to use your W. You could have walked with her and continued queuing and W'd as the mark timed out if you want to continue chasing. Ideally, you want to use your W either because you're out of range to queue, or you need the refresh. And she'd been marked very recently, so neither of those was true. I do like holding the queue until you've marked the entire wave. That's good. Drop the marks on the front line so you clear them a little bit slower. But yeah, you just marked her. She still had at least a second or two on her W. You could have waited a little bit longer, but not that huge of a deal. Alright, where are we going here? Contest her on point? That's fine. Your team's got mid. You can contest her on point. Okay, team wants to rotate down to mid. I assume they called that. So you get that. Very good. Missed one minion there, but you mostly got the entire wave. Don't forget to your auto attacks still do meaningful damage to the waves, so you do want to focus them on whatever means they're going to take the longest to die. You get to top wave before it crashes. Very good. Don't miss any soak. Ah, missed a little bit there. In this case, you could have actually moved in a little bit to make sure you get the rest of the back lines. Ah, dear. Yeah, so right here, the front lines are dying to the towers right now, so your priority is you get the back lines marked. You pause for a second, attack here, which is usually what you want to do, cleaving off the mage minion, but the wave's sort of arranged in a diagonal here. So actually both of these two backline minions you don't get. What you'd want to do was move up a little bit further and cleave off this backline minion right here. That way you can get all the backlines. And again, the front lines are dying to the towers. It doesn't really matter. Alright. Now, of course, the question is, do we stay for the top wave or go for the mid wave? Personally, I would stay for the top wave and get waves back into a position where I can double soak, especially with Zagara coming up to mid. But this is fine. Fortunately, we haven't really gotten the top camp yet. If Zagara is going for top wave, you can stay for another mid, harass the Butcher a little bit, and then go for top camp. Yeah, you're going to lose mid wave if you go for this. Alright. Camp taking with Malthael. Let's see it. You don't need to use your E, first of all. You can just walk in and mark them all at once. Okay, you're like half doing it right, yeah. You wanna kite around to always keep one of the melees from hitting you. Wasting a little bit of mana and taking a little bit unnecessary damage. You could have ended this with higher health, but I've definitely seen worse camp taking on Malthael. I think we tap mid, we go for mid wave here. Nice. Yeah, see, we missed the entire wave to do that. Clear that mid wave. You wait a little bit long to clear it. You could, as it's walking up, you can just walk to the side of it, aggro it on you, and then it clumps on you, and your cleave is going to get it really easily. Like, if you continue walking up here, these guys will all aggro on you, and you can get the cleave on it really easily. You don't need to wait for them to aggro. And you didn't even take advantage of them stacking. You hit the backline only again, instead of hitting the entire wave. So, a little bit of wave clear efficiency you could do. You could have the wave cleared by now. I kill this Butcher. Nice. Alright, that's about as much as you get. Personally, at this point, I would just go bot and clear that out and try and play for 7. This is fine, though. I would clear this wave, give Seed a little bit of time to URL in the temple, yep. You can take some tower shots to clear this. You really need to get this wave cleared ASAP. Yeah, you waited a really long time to mark the back lines. Wave could have been cleared a solid 3 seconds earlier, if that. And there's an interesting argument. Do you stay to push this, or do you go for the temple? You have a pretty good wave. There might be an argument for you to at least walk up before you mount and tag like this tower so that the minions all get aggroed for a few seconds, and then you walk up. I'm trying to figure that out myself. I wouldn't follow the URL here, just stay at the temple. Your reward for pushing this in is that now she has to clear that, so you get free time on the temple, yeah. Yep, try and spread the marks as much as possible. Yeah, a little force throwing shade, generally agree with that. I'm more of a throwing shade believer these days. I think that the URL matchup is actually a decent reason to go die alone, just because URL is so tanky. Less so with Dauntless, more so with Q1 and Maraud's. But she just takes so long to kill that die alone actually does a meaningful contribution to how much mana you need to spend to threaten her. But like this is Sky Temple, you're not dueling her all that much. I think die alone is, or not die alone, throwing shade is absolutely still the right choice. Level 7's here, Massacre. I know you're going into Mortality at 16. This is where I might have gone something different. I think there's a good argument for Cold Hand here. Partially because I'm Old Man Yelling at the Sky and just hate Massacre generically, so I'll take any excuse not to pick it. But partially I think there's actually a reasonable use case here. It's good into people that you want to kite more and sort of relatively immobile heroes, where with the move speed reduction you just kind of free kite them. It's going to be really good into Butcher and make it super easy to kite him and difficult for him to stay on your heroes. Malfurion's just going to die to it. Really easy to chase down Malfurion if he's slowed. It doesn't work that well on Yrel because she has E. She doesn't really care about her move speed, and she has Hand of Freedom. ETC's not speed metal to counteract that. He does have Q, but it can keep him in after he's slid in to die. And Hanzo, if he doesn't have a wall jump, doesn't have any other options. I think it's absolutely fine to take Mortality without Massacre. Obviously, vice versa isn't really the case. If you're taking Massacre, you kind of just want to take Mortality anyway, because of how the playstyles interact. I don't want to say you're wrong for going Massacre, but there might be an argument for Cold Hand. A lot of the times with Last Rites you want anti-heal, but maybe you go anti-heal for Butcher, honestly, but I feel like you can just one-shot him through the W healing anyway with the noob stuns. And like Raynor. Alright, get back to the mechanics. Clearing the wave, very nice. I have the tap. So here, walking up to Yrel, there's actually a decent argument to use E, because it's pretty easy to figure out that walking up to Yrel, she just needs to hold the point for a few more seconds. She's going to DW you as you walk up to her. So instead of going into range of that, you could sort of go slightly into W range, and then as she's DWing you, you press the E. The E's going to go out even after you get stunned, and then you can W to her to continue the trade if you want to. But whatever. Getting the vision point is not that big. You're missing a minion again off your cleave. Make sure you get the mark on Yrel. You're taking a little bit of time to recover after that. You don't need to W there, and in fact, Wing actually puts you into her E path. You're not Mortality yet. Your W is purely a dodge abilities or reposition tool. You don't need to do either of those there. Yeah, you can dodge if you don't W there, you can move back to the left, dodge your E, and then continue kiting, and then like W a second later. Just wasted a little bit of mana. Alright, go clear mid. Like it. Missing the frontline minions again. I think yeah, alright, again, don't need to W there, you're already close to her. Malthael's auto attack DPS is incredibly pitiful. It's often bad to be in melee range of someone. You want to be there to auto to mark them, but in most cases, after a mark has been applied, you want to maintain as much distance as you can until mark times out and you need to reapply it. General Malthael MO, especially like on a 1v1, is you like dip in for an auto attack and then just kite back. You have 4 seconds to wait the mark, just sort of time that in your head, and then as it's about to run out, you can like W back in to refresh it and then kite back again. You can use E to refresh it. Some combination, or like walk back in for another auto attack. Some combination of those 3 auto attack, E, W refresh is what you want to be applying roughly every 3.5 to 4 seconds just to keep your mark up, and then your real damage is your mark ticks and your Q, neither of which need you to be in melee range in the slightest. One back to top, very nice. Cool. You can honestly, I would just stay to get this wave, honestly. You're out of sync here. You've been slowed down a little bit. One of these waves is going to die, or we're going to lose some globes. And might as well just do the one you're close enough to, and then that really shoves into the top. So it's going to be a while before you need to respond to top again, so you can work on mid, and that way you can get your waves back in a good spot. Yeah, there you go. We gotta get you off of this though. You really gotta be cleaving the entire wave. You're just slowing down your wave clear by doing this. Because hitting the entire wave both means you can press Q faster, you're killing the wave faster, and also you can keep that position. Your auto attacks are hitting the entire wave. Like, Malthael auto attack DPS is not good, but it's still meaningful, especially since if it's cleaving onto 7 minions. You can rotate aggressively, by the way. You don't need to go all the way around here. You can go through the vision and save some time. So what? You know their entire blue team is down here. Uriel interrupts you. Okay, whatever. Doing this path is just taking a little extra time versus doing this path and getting to mid-wave like a second or second and a half faster. I believe we're going into right here. Yep. Missing these 2 minions with the cleave. Very unfortunate. Alright, now you have 10 advantage. I'd be looking to rotate down, in all honesty. How's the top wave looking? Like, Uriel might get a little bit of push, but if you can rotate down for a rights play, looks like Blue's maybe doing something. Yeah. Perfect. You know offlane. You know how this goes. Okay. If you're not looking, you don't know that ETC slides down, but so you don't know that you can go in, or at least like maybe just like ping assistance to. You don't want to show yourself though. Like you have your 3 options here, and I think this is like the 4th option that's not good. You want to rotate down to make a play with 10s. You have a couple options. First, you like rapidly ping assistance and try to force your team to make a play so that by the time you get there, you can go in. The second is you get there and then you immediately just go in and force the issue. The third is you, well, I have a couple options. The third is you sort of get there, nothing's happening, you just leave. You've chosen the worst 4th option, which is you've come down, nothing's happening. Instead of leaving, or instead of at the minimum keeping yourself hidden out of vision here, so that you can sort of be in a position to make a play, you've just sort of walked yourself into vision at an angle where it's going to be very difficult for you to follow up if a noob does something, and now you're either like just doing a loop back up, which is going to take more time than boop boop, or you're going to hang around here and probably accomplish nothing because no one's forcing anything. Yeah, you're just losing off. There's no play here. Your noob does not want to do anything. You absolutely could have caught another mid-wave. Alright, there we go. Now the issue's been forced with that. I'm reporting your cigar, by the way. Who are they? 3 names. Damn fruit cake. Sorry. Getting banned. This is funny friends, isn't it? This is a bad Maw. This is low-key why I don't like Maw on Zagara, by the way. It baits you into doing really awful things. People say, oh, you should go Maw, it's a team fight. Oh, yeah, but like, what kind of team fight are you looking for? Nidus does team fight stuff too. It gives you more abilities per ability because you get auto attack cooldown. Maw gets you to throw your 139 damage per second ability onto the engage and make those enemies not kill targets for the next 4 seconds. Like, that butcher's dead as dust. Dude face checks the bush. The dude goes in. Toss a rights on this guy, he's dead. But, I'm sorry, your Zagara just saved his life. And, now Uriel gets to rotate in. You get the kill anyway, because he physically can't be, like, healed up in time with even if the Malfurion's not in Cocoon. But, like, that delayed the rights by 4 seconds and delayed your entire team fight by 4 seconds. Because, alright. Also, the other thing, you should press rights here as soon as you see the a noob charging in. Unless, like, your Zagara in comms was like, yeah, I'm gonna maul this butcher, and so you know to hold rights. You should just be pressing rights. You don't want to wait until that skull's on them, because last rights has a 2-second delay all the time. If you wait until they're at 33% health, then you rights. You run into one of 2 issues. A, now they or their healer has whatever length of time it took you to go on them and get them down that low, plus 2 seconds to find a cure for them. So you're just extending the amount of time it takes for the kill to happen. Or because your team's all hitting them, a lot of heroes are going to take a third of their health within 2 seconds anyway, so they might just die and your rights does nothing. You want to press rights preemptively so that by the time they get low enough for rights to kill them, it's already ticking on them, and ideally it sort of procs right at that threshold and kills them. Or, you know, leaves them on a sliver and then, like, your trait or Q finishes them off or something. So, as soon as someone's a kill target, you just press rights on them, and sort of, you're generally just relying on the fact that you're hitting them, your team's hitting them, they're going to get low enough for rights to kill them within 2 seconds. Now, you might have tried to press rights there and just got interrupted by Maw. But yeah, like, look at how bad this Maw is. That was the original reason I went back here. Sorry, this is a bit of a rant. I feel really bad. I don't know who Damp Food Cake is. So I feel a little bit bad about writing on them, but this Maw, you still win the team fight, but I just want to point it out. Team fight starts off great. You're getting a butcher kill here immediately. If there's no Maw here, this butcher dies, and you're in a position, and your team's in a position to continue going. Everyone's positioned, like, perfectly around here. This is exactly the kind of team fight positioning I want. You've got 1 DPS free hitting back here, 1 DPS free hitting over here. You're in a position to continue moving forward. You still have Fear of the Reaper to continue catching up to them. You still have E. You can absolutely chase people down here. If you have Cold Hand, that does even better. You can also W in here. And since you have Massacre, you catch Hanzo and ETC. Hanzo might be slightly out of range, actually. If he's not, you can Fear the Reaper and continue to chase him down, though. And you immediately apply Mark. So you immediately get the butcher kill, and you capitalize on that from there. But now, we press Maw, and look. Now, team's like, oh, what do I do? Your Zagara is stuck down here, because she can't walk up to continue hitting. And there's no target to hit, so your Zagara is just out of the fight for the next 4+ seconds. Your Rainer also has no targets to hit. The targets he was hitting are now gone, so he's either stepping way up over here to hit these guys, in which case he's going to be in melee range of the ETC and Butcher when Maw pops, which he doesn't really want. Or he's, like, walking all the way up around here to hit the Uriel, in which case he's taken some time to walk away. Your kill target's now not there, so you're either sitting there waiting for it to come out, so again, you're out of the fight for 4 seconds, or you're running back at these guys with Fear of the Reaper. Anub has just used both of his abilities. He's now like 25% of a hero because he used his EQ to stun the Butcher, but now Butcher's not going to be a kill target for the next 4 seconds, so Anub's kind of just sitting and waiting around. Meanwhile, the enemy Uriel's rotated in with fresh resources, ready to take a fight, and is about to jump onto your team. So, at minimum, Zagari's just paused the fight, but really it's kind of bad for you, because she's paused the fight, which gives the blue team time to recover after the engage. Ideally, you want, here's the noob engage, boom boom, Butcher's dead within like a second or two. Wow, blue team has like 2 seconds to react to that. Now I have that plus the 4 seconds of maul. Now, yeah, this does continue working out because you have 10, you still work. But yeah, you're like just out of the fight for 4 seconds. You sort of just wander around, throw an auto on Urel. Oh, hey, there's my Butcher. There's rights. Yeah, that was fully secured, by the way. You didn't need to do anything else. Because look at the Butcher's health. He's low enough for rights, and he has 0 healing. There's nothing saving him. Like, Malfurion's in the cocoon, for one, so there's nothing for him there. But yeah, Butcher's significantly below the threshold. The threshold is about where that heal over time is. Honestly, maybe a little bit lower, but he's not going to heal up nearly enough. And there's no sources of healing there. So you didn't need to use your E. I don't know, I think you can stay for a few seconds longer. You still had Fear of the Reaper, you still could have found more angles to get some kills. Especially with the fort about to go down. But anyway, let's look at our rotate out. Yep. Clear in. This would be a good time when you can E the wave as it's walking up just because you want to clear ASAP. Don't go for the Urel. Don't go for the Urel. Urel's bait. Urel's bait. Urel is bait. Just clear the wave and move on. There you go. And run away. That's the right Urel's bait, by the way. You want to clear the wave and move on before people got up there and before you miss top soak. Don't be scared of Urel. Walk up and start hitting her. Hit the wave. Nice. Jed's got mid, so we can go up here and catch the next top wave. There's no way they're all top. Surely. Good luck by the noob. Your team's fighting, by the way. The team's fighting, by the way. This is not the time to do camp. Yeah. As soon as you're a noob, ease in. I'm immediately, like, little alarm bells, like, oh, I should probably hang around just in case this guy's about to int and I can help fix it. And I think you absolutely could do stuff here, yeah. Like, this is just some sort of skirmish. They have no pressure on you. You can probably find kills here. Yeah. Hey, ETC dies if you're there for rights. He dies anyway. Malf dies if you're there for rights. Your team gets at least 1 extra kill somewhere if you're there. I think. Let's play there. Yeah. Camp's one. You got a couple plays. I think top and mid. Your player is either siege camp or you go deep and push this thing up or invade with that kill. Siege camp is fine. I think either of these is slightly better to capitalize on the kill your team got. Hey, and you're moving away to it. Nice. Yep, we clear out mid here. A little bit awkward time to show in lane, if you would. Like a second for the minions to all aggro. You could have cleared the wave a solid few seconds faster. But whatever. Alright, so I'm going to point out something. Urel has Ardent Defender. If you ever get the chance to last fighter, you absolutely should, because she'll burn Ardent Defender for it. And that is a 120-second cooldown versus a, 65-second cooldown right now. So, absolutely worth it to burn rights on someone in lane. Same applies to, like, Blaze Bunker and any other off lanes that none of them come to mind that can use their ults or other long cooldown abilities to deny rights. Rights is okay, but like in comparison to what Ardent allows Uriel to do, or what Bunker allows Blaze to do, it's absolutely worth it to trade them. You can step up here and just clear this. Like, eat through it if you really need to. Or Massacre, something to get the mark. Actually, E there, you could have W'd into the wave. There you go. Found the Massacre. She popped that way too early. No, chase her down, chase her down. This is a free rights. This is a free rights. Ah, she jukes you. There you go. Found it eventually. Alright. Yeah. Take your 13, please. It's already been an entire level. Unless you're doing like some sort of 5-head thing where you're waiting to see which one you need in the next fight. But I doubt it. So, I don't want to say I told you so, but having Inevitable End already picked there gives you... Alright, there, you picked it beforehand. You just didn't press it in time. Alright. Well, saves you get out, whatever. They burned 2 pretty important ults for that, and you got to live, so we call that a win. Ooh, there's a Butcher. You don't want to touch that at the moment. I was going to say go get the top wave, but you see Butcher. Yeah, I don't hate what you're doing here, just sort of sitting around. Wait for your team. Hey, that's a dead Butcher. Run him down. See, yes, so see, you can press rights like now, or even sooner. Yeah, you're waiting way too long to rights. Ooh. And that means that this Butcher gets away. I'm pretty sure he was in your range when when the marker went on him. Yeah, he is. He's definitely in range. You just don't press the button. Jed finishes it off, fortunately. Find some kills. You could have chased down this ETC too. Don't be afraid to like run people down. That's what your hero does. Like, there's this guy. You keep chasing him. W next to him. You can get that, and you chase him around. You get over there. You're letting a lot of kills go. And you let the Uriel kill go too. You could definitely have chased her with some combination of better W usage. I'm gonna check this out here. Yeah. You're too slow to run after her. So you do have a button. You picked up level 1, Fear the Reaper. I was saving it till the end of the game to mention it, but I don't think you pressed it once, and it absolutely could have helped in several fights that you've been at. In this case, it could have helped you get to the rail faster to save W, or it could be what allows you to chase after the URL here, because you just needed to close the distance with her a little bit to be able to W to her. Several ways you could have secured that URL kill. You could have secured the ETC kill. You could have secured the Butcher kill earlier. You had like 3 people that were last rightsable that you didn't choose to take either of them. You have a Inevitable End. This is where you can start getting a lot more aggressive. Like level 13 is where Malthael can start making bigger plays because you have whatever 13 you pick to back it up. One thing you could have done there, Hanzo stepped too close to the wave. You could have caught him with your Massacre and marked him for a little bit of damage. Why does that say choose a talent? You don't have 16 yet. Weird. Yeah, right here he steps too close to the wave. If you W this minion, You catch him with Massacre, and then he's marked. You get a couple Qs on him as he's running away. A little bit of extra damage. Yeah, with 16 you can play this. Alright, there's no play anymore. Unfortunately, with, like, you're a noob, you don't really have the ability to force plays if a noob isn't making the plays. And, like, that's not against a noob there. They, like, took some damage, they fell back, whatever. But, like, with a noob falling back, you have to fall back too. E, nice, and then just not like that. You want to stay at a distance and Q him. W in, get the Malthael mark, and you're chasing Malthael down here. Malthael dies. Nice. Keep chasing him down. Never blend. Never blend. Right, that works. Yep, you can go for the butcher here. Pop your Fear Reaper. This is what Fear Reaper's good at. Alright, cool. No, don't keep chasing. You still have a Never blend. You're not scared of anything here. You're totally fine. You're not scared of shit. You can keep chasing a little bit more. W onto that guy. Nice. This guy dies. Free kill. Yeah. Well, this is gonna be one of my feedbacks. Is we're playing without a level 1 talent this game, folks. There's several. Fear the Reaper is very low cooldown. It's only 25 seconds and gives you a 25% move speed boost. It's almost a full mount speed for 4 seconds. You can't be dismounted. You pass through other units. It's a fantastic mobility tool. It allows you to juke people a lot better. It allows you to close the distance with them to auto attack. Like when you're chasing this butcher, you need to get to him. Fear the Reaper. Boom. Now you're 25% extra move speed on him. Every single fight that you've had, I think, Fear the Reaper could have helped you a lot. It helped you find more kills and acquire your targets better. Alright, what's our play here? We're getting top camp. They're getting top camp. So we can either go for top or bottom temple here. Roughly equivalent. You have a full fort just about on both sides. Bot's a little bit better defended, but you're closer to top. You have your camp top. I think you can just play for top temple fine. You're heavily up in structure, so you just want to trade temples. I'm actually very curious how you lose this game, because you're very much in a winning position right now. The one problem with going top temple is they could potentially sneak boss into your nose. You want to stay grouped at this point, by the way. This is a really good way to get caught. Yeah, because now they see everyone top, so they're going to play bot, probably. It's fine. Yeah, I would just go join the team at top. Nice. Yeah, bot's kind of a lost cause, but that's fine. That's the whole point of what we're doing on Sky Temple. I like what Zagara's doing, and we can play that too. We know at least one's bot. We can push out this top wave a little bit. And in honesty, most of your team should be here, pushing out this top wave. Yeah, if we have more people, what I'd really like to do is directly start pushing this keep, but unfortunately we just don't have the people yet. That's the one thing we're worried about with going for top, and that's why I would have liked to be directly pushing the keep, because the top temple, I do not believe... no, it should actually get the keep with... Still, we could have gotten a little bit of extra damage on mid. Alright, now we're just going to fall back and we're going to play defense. That force is dead, yep. Oh, jeez. Our noob has made a gross miscalculation of several factors. Yeah. We got a Rainer top, we got a Zagara mid. We do not have the resources to be playing this 3v4. Like, it's a good engage if there's people there, but we just have to keep in mind, like, there's not people there. Fortunately, he gets out. Oh, high fives? Any high fivers? I'm pretty sure you have a frame to press inevitable end here. I mean, okay, so that arrow's in full vision, you can definitely inevitable end that. Alright. We can play this here. You mistimed your E, unfortunate. If we don't mistime our E, we can get a fat massacre in there, we pop inevitable end, and I think we're good. Way too early of an inevitable end. That does not cleanse the Butcher mark. You need to time it when the Butcher impacts. That is a tempting hit on ETC there. I don't think you needed to inevitable end that. Grab it to my replay. There we go. Yeah, W in there. Good. Chase time off, you're in down. That works. I think you could have continued chasing that Malth down. You're generally being a little too passive with Malthael when you should be more aggressive. Like, in this situation, we're gonna go back to this in a second. Yeah. ETC's slid in. Your team's in a good position to turn. I think you can continue chasing with your team and probably catch this Malfurion kill. I mean, getting the ETC is not the worst. At least you do get a kill, but I think you could have gotten more. Alright, get our last droids off, going back to the waves. Seems good. Urel has done some good things topside. Focus on the wave. You're not killing this Urel here, so just focus on the wave. Alright, now we want to be looking to group with our team more with level 20. We're just pushing the waves out. Oh hey, there's a fight happening here. Let's beeline it straight to them. Dead Butcher, Dead Butcher, Dead Butcher, Dead Butcher. Don't do this wave. Nice. Dead Butcher, Dead Butcher. You dismounted to press E there. You could have kept running into mount. You're going to close the distance quicker with mount than you are with E. Okay. Save your W for when she... Nice. Yeah. So you picked Angel of Death, by the way. I would have gone Respawn, personally. Angel of Death is a funny talent, but it's very awkward and often not that useful, I think. The cooldown reduction is not super needed. Like, are you really going to need to be using last rites every 20 seconds? I kind of doubt it. The heal would be better if you could control it, but sometimes you're not going to need the heal when it pops. Sometimes it's just not going to do anything. Defensive-wise, no one can stop death. It's going to be a lot better. And offensive-wise too, because it allows you to go a lot harder. I'm guessing we like throw under their keep here. Yeah. Fortunately, this is Sky Temple, and the correct play is you kind of just chill. I like where our noob is positioning. Yeah, W onto that. Go! You could have taken it once... Watch the Mosh here. Yeah. You could have gone after the noob engage and sort of committed to the ETC here. You can W onto this inevitable end and reapply Mark onto the ETC and continue running him down with your team. you have at least 2 other people on comms, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about them following your plays. Yeah, you can go a lot more aggressive here, and you should. You're up someone. Oh. Need to inevitable end that. We're gonna look at this team fight. Okay. Well, you got away pretty well. Alright, we're gonna look at this again. But yeah. End result, you're up 1. You have at least 2 other people on comps here. Your noob's looking for plays, follow them. Remember, your noob draws beetles, you have minions. This keep is not a threat. There's 3 people defending right now. I don't actually know where their 4th is. Oh, back there right now. Hanzo's up top. Yeah, I mean, like right now there's just not people here. Alright, let's look at what we could do better here. Your entire team gets caught by a blind slaughterhouse, which is very unfortunate. Yep, EN here looks fine. You do see the ETC wind up. You could have inevitable ended that, but it's easy to miss. You want to turn this though. This guy's dead already. You don't need to last right sim, and I don't think that happens. Yeah, right here you can continue to look for more though. You have several beetles underneath their keep. You can Fear the Reaper or E to try and catch them. W in and then keep playing. You need to level 1 that silence, which is very unfortunate. And it's easy to miss, so whatever. That one might be a little too far away to get to. Yeah, go on this URL. W. Since you have mortality, you want to be Wing pretty much every time you can for that fat damage spike. You're playing a very passive Malthael when these fights are breaking out. Like, you can play a little more passively. Wow, that's a double bullseye. This is where Fear the Reaper... Wait, that's a dead Butcher. Nice. Good turn. You could have killed him without last rites, by the way. He was very low there, just like Q mortality proc would have killed him. But yeah, playing a little passively at like the early stages of the fight is fine as Malthael, because you don't want to be the first one in. But once stuff is happening and like buttons are being pressed and health bars are going down, that's when you want to start being more aggressive. Get the marks on, get yourself sustained up, start pressuring them more, look for those last rites opportunities. You're playing really far back, even though you took W7, W16, which really wants you to... W16 especially, you're only picking that if you're going to be Wing a lot in fights. You're maybe pressing W once or twice per fight, which means mortality is just not really that great of a damage option for you. And you probably should have gone Soul Collector for that extra poking power if that's the playstyle you want. Alright, we just play for Temple here. Yep. Okay. Alright, kill this guy quick, get the globe. They unfortunately have Hanzo up before you have your guys up, so you're going to need to... You should be so aggressive here, by the way. As soon as these guys show up, you should be Fear the Reapering towards them. And your Lucio should be helping you do that. Because, you know, yeah, right here. You know, ETC just respawned, he's at the hearth. Urel just bubble hearth, she's at the hearth. This guy maybe has one other person with him, and you and Lucio easily 2v2 that. And look, now you have your Zagara, that's an easy 3v3. This is so illegal. As soon as Hanzo shows here, what I'm thinking is, like, Lucio at minimum should probably position over here for a wall ride and look for D opportunities to catch someone. You trying to find a kill in like the 10 seconds before they have any reinforcements. Like, they should not be allowed to step up this much. There's 3 of you and you're like giving them, you're backing up, you're giving 2 of them space. Now you kind of need to start backing up because ETC is going to be here soon and Urel's already back. You need to not get caught in this 3v4. Okay. So we waited until they were reinforced to make the Lucio plays and start trying to pressure them. We need to get out here. Nope. Just take them all as a disengage. Get out. Don't play this. Don't play this. Yeah, you can't do this. Alright. Good inevitable end. You're out. W through her. Nice. You can take this trade. Unfortunately, Lucio died. You have to just see this. Yeah. The time to make a play was about 10 seconds before that. Once they all got... Then they all got here, and then you made the play for revive. Also, just back here. You're not doing anything soon anyway. You can get this camp. You don't need the fountain for it. Make sure you get the mage minion. Could have cutted that a little bit better and kept the mage minion march to kill it ASAP, but whatever. It doesn't matter too much. Yeah, and then you ended up backing anyway, so now you have taps on cooldown for the next fight. For not really any reason. Alright, we're just defending bot here. Pretty straightforward. That keep might fall. We can throw some ease for poking. With throwing shade, we can just like throw some ease. The whole point of throwing shade is you can throw some poking ease and then get some Qs off it, and you're just still doing damage even if you're not committing. So like you can position here, throw some ease towards the boss, and just like get some Qs on it. Do a little bit of damage. Alright, you need to prepare to counter-engage this. That's really bad. Alright, W, and you need to start doing stuff. That's not stuff. The wrong stuff. Alright, we're gonna look at this here, yeah. Alright. So yeah, you need to try and protect your team in like basically the only way you know how to, which is go in there and start doing damage and hope that that splits their focus too much. So, yep, you got your E out here. You're Wing in. Good. And now the problem is you're backing out. You need to go in harder. Look, their team's split. You can chase down these two and keep the pressure on them. You can go for this guy over here and get pressure on them. You're going over here, which relieves pressure. And then you're walking into the 4-man mosh. See? Yeah, you're doing a whole lot of not contributing to this fight. Because you're too scared to go in. Like, W into this. What's the worst that happens? You still have inevitable end. You can W in. And, unfortunately, Angel of Death did not help you in the slightest this game. That fight specifically. Respawn definitely helps you here. I mean, the game's probably done anyway, but you could at least use it to get back. Respawn also would have helped you in making more aggressive plays because you know you have it as an ability to get back. Okay, so, couple things here. The first is we've played this entire game without a level 1 talent. I've been pretty consistently keeping my eyes on it, and there's maybe, like, I can accept there's maybe one part I missed you pressing it, but I'm pretty sure you did not press the button once this game. And it's very easy to get value of. There's several opportunities where you needed to catch someone, or needed to reposition, or if they were just out of your auto attack range, or you could have chased people down with it. You should be using this pretty much off cooldown. Might be slightly inaccurate, but like it's got a low cooldown. It's free movement speed. Use it more. Last rites. Try to press it earlier as soon as someone's a focus target, and you have like some reasonable confidence they're going to get low enough. Again, as I explained before, you want to time it so that by the time that 2 seconds is up, they're already low enough. If you're pressing it when they're low enough, then that's just 2 extra seconds where they either get a kill, or they get healed or saved or whatever, or your team just kills them anyway because it doesn't take that long to deal a third of a hero's health if everyone's focusing them. Angel of Death I don't think really gets value this game either. The biggest issue that I'm seeing this game. Oh, and also like wave optimization slightly, try and hit the entire wave with your autos, blah blah blah. Gone over it plenty of times. The biggest optimization thing I think you could do this game is you're not playing aggressive enough. If you want to play more like back range Malthael, I don't really like it, but like Soul Collector plus Final Curtain, you can just sort of spam E's and spam Q's from a distance and then just wait until something happens for you to press R on. But especially with W7, W16 that you've taken, that means you want to get in there and you want to just get marks on everyone. Keep spamming W. You need to be spamming W for W16 to get value. Otherwise, it's not the best damage option on the tier. If you don't feel comfortable spamming W, take Soul Collector. But yeah, what you're doing is more hovering on the sides. You'll maybe W in once, and then you'll like back off because you're scared. You have Inevitable End. You have Fear the Reaper. You've got two very good defensive buttons. You have a Lucio in comms with High Five, who's a pretty good Lucio. You can be more aggressive, and you should be more aggressive. Like, once buttons have been pressed, get in there. Chase people down. Keep marking them. I think I tend to categorize Malthael team fights. You want to go one of three ways, and you sort of transition through those smoothly as the fight goes on. You could play for burst with your team, last right seeing who the focus target is, using W16 to get them down lower, anti-heal if relevant, not really this game, and you're just killing people with your team with last rights. You did that. For the most part, could have been some better last rights usages, but generally you were pretty good with that. The other two that you weren't doing were some coming either just get in there, mark everyone, get more Q value for damage, more trait value for damage, spread more damage, get more healing from your Q. Didn't really do that. You'd go in, then you'd immediately retreat, and then there's also like chase people down. Once abilities have been used, once the fight's starting to split up, you've got marks on everyone, you're going wild, and people are starting to run away in different directions. You pick some people and you chase those down, sort of like Illidan. You're very difficult to get off because you have your W, you have, in theory, 25% extra move speed, you can tech into Cold Hand at 25% or a 20% slow. You have a lot of ways to be very sticky on people and whittle them down and eventually last rights them. Definitely do that. Just look for opportunities to be more aggressive, sort of trust your sustain, limit test a little bit, trust your team to sort of walk forward with you. You're very good at walking forward. You've got Rainer, Zagara doesn't do it as well. You've got Lucio is great at just walking at people. You have the support to where your team can take a good fight, get advantage, and then just run them all the way across the map with it. But you're not really doing that. A noob isn't going to be able to do that very well because, he presses EQ and that's kind of it. If your team is running someone across the map, that's more you to enable. Because your backline needs some sort of signal that they're able to walk forward. The chaos you create could be that signal. But yeah, very base Malthael gameplay. Love to see Malthael played. Hope you play him more. Very fun hero. Very effective too, I think. I see several Malthael mains averaging like 60% or more win rate. My theory is that if you get good at him and start maining him, he's actually like a very, very good Storm League hero. But yeah, I have no idea how long this is. I've yapped a whole bunch, so I'm gonna put a summary of this in text and send it over. But yeah, good luck in your future games, and especially with Malthael.